When we talk about America, we often imagine a country where dreams are born, technologies are created, and corporations are built that change the whole world. But the America of the 1980s and the America of the 2020s are two completely different worlds. Back then, during the time of Ronald Reagan, everything was just beginning. The first personal computers, startups in garages, young geniuses creating Microsoft and Apple. Today, at the time of Joe Biden, the United States is a country of artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, quantum technologies, and digital ecosystems. And if in the Reagan era America was only opening the doors to the future, then in the Biden era, it is facing a new technological threshold, where the stakes are higher and competition is global. Let's take a look at how America has changed, from the era of Silicon Dreamers to the era of digital giants. The America of the 1980s was a time when the word innovation meant not corporations, but people. The rise began with the personal computer revolution. In 1981, IBM released its first PC, and in 1984, Apple introduced the Macintosh. Young Steve Jobs and Bill Gates embodied the new American dream. Talent and ambition could lift a person from a garage to a billion. Reagan's economy was built on optimism, deregulation, and business support. The policy of Reaganomics, tax cuts, privatization, and reduced government intervention has created the ground for startup culture, entrepreneurial spirit, and the rapid growth of the technology sector. Silicon Valley was the birthplace of what decades later would become the center of digital civilization. The technologies of those years are not just computers. This is the appearance of the first mobile phones, cable television, and satellite communications. In the 1980s, America believed for the first time that technology could change not only production, but also the way of life. Corporations like Intel, IBM, HP, and Microsoft were laying the groundwork for the digital age. It was then that the idea was formed that technological leadership is not only a business, but also a national strategy. Reagan-era business was tough, ambitious, and romantic at the same time. People believed in the American dream. The success of Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and Larry Ellison inspired an entire generation of engineers and entrepreneurs. It was then that the first venture funds, the concept of startup, and the culture of innovation appeared. America has ceased to be just a country of industry. It has become a country of ideas. But if in the 80s America created technologies, then in the 2020s America lives in them. The Biden era is a time when technology has become part of politics, ethics, and global competition. Now the United States is not just producing computers, but creating digital ecosystems that control everything from economics to medicine. Companies that were born on the soil of Reagan's freedom have now become empires. Google, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta. And now the question is not how to make money on technology, but how to keep control over it. Unlike Reagan, Biden runs a country where data has become the main currency. The economy has shifted from factories to algorithms, from metal to silicon, from oil to information. The policy of technological sovereignty, the law on chips, and large-scale investments in artificial intelligence reflect a new struggle for leadership. While Reagan relied on the private sector, Biden relies on strategic government investments to support the semiconductor industry, green energy, and digital security. The America of the Biden era is a country where engineers, not soldiers, are on the front line. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, biotechnology, automation, all these are not just innovations, but tools of geopolitics. Technology has become a battlefield with China, an arena for corporations to fight, and an instrument of influence on the world. And in this sense, America has changed beyond recognition. If innovation was romance under Reagan, then it's politics under Biden. The culture of entrepreneurship has also changed. Back in the 80s, people believed in personal risk, perseverance, and an idea. Today, innovations are created by teams, accelerators, and government grants. The startup world has become global, but also more pragmatic. If dreamers used to create products, today companies are creating ecosystems and AI models. And if Reagan inspired with the slogan, "America, must be great. Then Biden works under the motto, America must be smart. The technological America of the 2020s is striking in scale. Tesla and Ford Lightning electric vehicles, IBM quantum computers, OpenAI's ChatGPT, and the development of autonomous systems are not just a business, but a new infrastructure for life. Support for green technologies and the law on reducing emissions have opened up a new industry where the climate and business are no longer enemies. America is leading again, but not at the expense of oil corporations, but at the expense of AI and clean energy. Comparing these eras, we can say that Reagan gave America the freedom to create, while Biden gave it the tools to survive in a competitive world. Reagan stimulated the market. Biden protects the market from external threats. Back then, innovation was the work of enthusiasts. Today, it is the result of the interaction of the state, corporations, and science. And if Reagan created the conditions for the emergence of Microsoft and Apple, then Biden is laying the foundation for the era of artificial intelligence and autonomous systems. But it's not that simple. In the Biden era, America is facing things it did not know during the Reagan era: regulations, ethical dilemmas, and social tensions due to technology. Then computers inspired, now they frighten. Then the technologies were combined, now they're being divided. And yet, despite this, America remains the engine of progress. Because the main thing that hasn't changed in 40 years is the belief that the future can be built. Reagan's America is about believing in a dream. Biden's America is responsible for this dream. The first creates, the second manages. The first is the era of garages, the second is the era of laboratories. The first build a market, the second an ecosystem. And there's a whole civilization between them. If Reagan could have looked to the future, he would have seen that his ideas of deregulation and freedom did not generate chaos, but innovation. And Biden, looking back, sees that it was that freedom that created the corporations that are now shaping the global agenda. America has changed, but its DNA remains the same, the desire to be the first. And maybe that's why America is still in the lead, because she knows how to change. Because behind every crisis, there's a new idea. Because every generation of entrepreneurs has a new era behind them. And if in the 80s the Macintosh was the symbol of progress, today it is artificial intelligence. And in both cases, America said the same thing. The future begins here.